Welcome to the Sleep is a Skill podcast. My name is Molly McLaughlin, and I own a company that optimizes sleep through technology, accountability, and behavioral change. Each week, I'll be interviewing world-class experts ranging from doctors, innovators, and thought leaders to give actionable tips and strategies that you can implement to become a more skillful sleeper. Let's jump into your dose of practical sleep training. Welcome to the Sleep is a Skill podcast. So navigating a pandemic is challenging for all of us in its own way, but some are being hit disproportionately, whether from health or financial perspective or both. So which is why addressing the psychology behind our sleepless nights becomes even more important during a time when many of us feel particularly powerless. And what we want to underscore is that there's always an opportunity to take action. So my guest, Laurie Gerber, who is the co-president of the Handel Group, puts it in a way that I haven't quite heard before, which is this. The access to gaining control over your sleep has to do with the understanding that we all lie and discovering what there is to do about it. So a little bit of background about Laurie. She is the head coach of the Handel Group, and she is particularly passionate about personal development. Laurie has been coaching individuals and groups for over 15 years. She specializes in relationship and marriage coaching and is the #1 marriage and relationship coach based in New York City. She spreads her message of empowerment through public speaking events, such as the 2019 TEDx Brooklyn live international events, one-on-one coaching, virtual coaching courses, and on radio and in TV appearances such as MTV's True Life Special, I'm Getting a Second Chance, A&E's The Marriage Test, and Dr. Phil's show, and The Today Show. Laurie also hosts monthly dating and relationship webinars on Match and JDate, providing dating, sex, and relationship advice to an average of 350 listeners per month. Let's jump in. Okay, welcome to Sleep is a Skill. I am so grateful to have you here today.
So good to be here, Molly.
Awesome. So, this is an interesting approach to looking at sleep as a skill as it relates to the psychology and mindset that is required to be able to make a transformation in our sense of empowerment as it relates to how we have the confidence to be able to create for ourselves a sense of peace of mind when we hit our pillow every single night, and knowing ourselves to be able to, shift the trajectory of how regularly we can fall asleep and stay asleep. And I know of no better person to speak with on this topic than you. So I would love to hear just real quick a little bit of a background in both your relationship to what you've built with the Handel Group as well as your connection to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, it really starts with a personal background piece, which is that I have had times in my life where I have really struggled to stay asleep. My particular brand of sleep issue is I will fall asleep fine. It's like I tell myself, I've spent a good day, I've accomplished things, I'm good. But then 3, 4 in the morning, my subconscious would like to discuss a few things with me, and it has to be now.
Yes.
I cannot wait till my alarm. I cannot wait till 6 a.m. And I've had times in my life that, doctors would describe as panic attacks or anxiety. But I've always really applied the Handel Method, because for the last 15 years, the Handel Method is what has helped me get everything I ever wanted in my life. Mm-hmm. Now, I originally applied that to having the marriage of my dreams and having the health and body of my dreams and having the career of my dreams. But I never thought I was going to have to apply it to something as simple as sleep, which I, took for granted as a young person, and through most of my life took for granted as something that, of course, you do, right? That's just part of the day. That's just what I'm entitled to. That's just, part of it. And even, I even still sometimes think about, people who don't want to get out of bed in the morning, who, keep pressing snooze and going back to bed, and how funny that is to me at 4 a.m. when I would just do anything.
Yes.
It used to be such a pleasure to wake up at 4 a.m. because I was like, yay, I get to go back to sleep. And now if I look at 4 a.m., I'm like, uh-oh,
So relatable. Yes.
So I very much personally relate to the agony of it. I have done a comprehensive, probably too much of a self-study on my own patterns and reasons and factors. And there are many, but I came up with really what I think are the 7 things that helped me the most. And the one that was the most unique, I think that nobody else was really pitching on the internet or in the world is to consider it highly related to lying. Like to consider my inability to stay asleep highly related to lying.
Oh, say more about that.
Is anyone else talking about this, Molly, or is it just
No? Okay. They are not. So, and believe me, as we know, we got to speak a little before this, and most people listening know I'm pretty obsessive on this topic. I'm reading nonstop, listening, here. I'm not hearing that. So share.
Great. Excellent. So it'll be something new for people to think about. It was certainly something new for me to think about because when I came to Handel Group, I had done years of personal growth, years of yoga and Tai Chi and meditation and chanting and all of the spiritual things and therapy and all these self-help modalities. And nobody until I came to the Handel Group talked to me about lying. Nobody talked to me about my negative inner dialogue that was going on in my head at all times, pre-paving and manifesting, or what we call manifucking your sleep or manifucking whatever. And nobody had really ever laid that out for me in years and years and years. So it really was that insight that I got about all my life, that then could extrapolate to sleep as well. So what I find is that when I'm in times of my life where I'm lying about what I want to do, what kinds of things I'm thinking, how I really feel about somebody, even just stupid stuff, which I am a queen of lying about stupid stuff. I am a queen.
Sure.
Like, oh, I just forgot to tell you I didn't fill out that form. Or like, oh, I just tried to get 2 for the price of 1. Or, oh, I just didn't call the doctor back. Just like, mainly self-sabotaging stupid little things. But so between big lies and little lies, those have been the times in my life and the days and nights of my life where my subconscious wants to chat with me about it at 3 and 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's number 1.
Love it. Very unique and such a great way of looking at it. And I love the relatability and vulnerability of sharing about that because we all do this thing. And when you outline it in those terms, it has us look at it newly. So share more about this. I love this. So you've created this relationship too. And it sounds like you've been able to gain some power within there.
Yeah. So I literally did a whole TEDx talk on lying. So if anyone needs like the 18-minute lowdown, I'm not going to spend 18 minutes here of really like outlining all the ways we lie, exaggerating, misrepresenting, omission, secrets we're taking to the grave with us. There are many. And by the way, I think a lot of people go, well, but I used to be able to sleep and I had that secret, or I used to be able to sleep when I was cheating, or I used to be able to sleep when I was lying. So it can't be that, Laurie. And I'm like, no, it can be that. Like you just ran out your statute. Like you just ran out your runway. Right. Like,
right. You're kind of getting away with murder for a while, but no longer.
Exactly.
Sure.
So just because you got away with it before does not mean you're getting away with it now.
Yeah.
And thank God, because it means we can keep evolving and growing and becoming better people. Now, I want to point out in my research for this TEDx talk, what I came to understand is that everybody lies. Do not debate right now whether or not you lie.
Yeah.
Everybody lies, and everybody lies a lot, like every day, different kinds of lies. Even if you think you're just lying to yourself, it's probably not true, but everybody lies. And we have all different ways, and we have our own brand, and we learned it from our parents, and we even we're born with it. Pigeons lie. There was a study done that shows that if pigeons are rewarded for certain behaviors, they will lie to be rewarded. Right.
Oh, but this is totally my audiogram. That's definitely my main quote of this whole podcast. Pigeons lie.
Even pigeons lie. Babies lie. Babies fake cry. It is probably one of the most universal things about human beings is that we all lie, and we all want to pretend we don't. And we all are ashamed of it. And we all think it's so terrible that we can't talk about it. And that's really why Handel Group exists, is because we are trying to bring light and humor to the fact that we all lie. And if we don't lighten up about it and have a sense of humor and even just make fun of how we lie, we are dead, because then we hide our lies and they fester and become worse, and they become literal disease, mental and physical disease. And they cause suicide. I mean, I don't even want to say it.
Yeah.
Lying causes such a deep level of pain on this planet. And we don't understand we can fix it. And that everybody wants to, right? When you liberate yourself, everyone's liberated.
I love what you're saying here. And so you started to then notice how much this spills into the realm of sleep for you. And not just you, for all of us, but you noticed it on the court with your own experiences. Can you share some of the ways that you are able to now shift the paradigm around this? Or maybe go ahead.
I mean, I recommend doing what I did, which is get really familiar with and intimate with how you lie, which is so counterintuitive, as I pointed out. But you want to, I literally made a list. Like first I made a list of all the lies I could think of, anything from my entire history up until today. And it was a nice, juicy, long list. And I just started telling people, right? Including my own father, which I explain in the TEDx talk. So just literally outing your lies. But the other thing I did was I made a list of the kinds of things I lie about. You know, like I have a promise to only work 11 hours a day because I'm a workaholic and I love to work. And I'll lie about that.
Relatable.
I'll be like, I just didn't keep track, you know, like, and I don't have to say anything about, you know, like, or I'll fudge my spiritual practice, right? I have a promise to do a certain amount of meditation a day, or I'll pretend like I'm friends with someone to get something from them. And I'm not really friends with them. And I really don't want to be friends. So, you know, there's about 15 ways, or I'll pretend I understand what you're saying and I don't, right? Like I'm just yeah. And like, I've never heard of that. So I could go on. There's at least 15 particular ways that I like to lie. Another popular one is pretending I'm happy when I'm not, you know, pretending when I'm good. So I like to review that list frequently because if I can confess to someone and laugh at myself before I go to sleep, I am much more likely to sleep. So that's what I recommend to people with regard to that. And then I can move to my other hacks as well.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So I'm taking a whole slew of notes as you're speaking and just underlined that element of the freedom that can come when you tell the truth and when you get straight about the lies that you're having, and also the awareness that comes when you review those that list periodically, maybe notice some patterns that are starting to emerge of certain particular areas that you're, seeing a lot of kind of inauthenticity around, and what to do about that. And then suddenly you have an action to take. That's so great.
And one of the big things people lie about is relationships, right? How is this going? What did I like or not like? Where is this going? You know, those questions and those things that we think we shouldn't or can't talk about. And then we are up in the middle of the night talking about them with ourselves instead of with the people that they apply to. So another thing I recommend is that if you are going to be up in the middle of the night, find out what the content is. Write it down. Get your...
Yes, make it productive.
Find out what it is. And then you got your chance for the next night, because if you see, I never told Patricia that I really don't think we should do the plan that way, or I never told my husband that I did spend that money, or I never, no one really knows how much I'm eating after 9 o'clock at night. You got a chance during daylight to actually come clean on that stuff. Have those difficult conversations, we have a program called Inner You Life, which is our entire methodology in audio coaching. And we have an entire module on simply how to design and have a difficult conversation. And my belief is that we're just up having those difficult conversations with ourselves, and we could be having them productively with the people in our lives, and either coming to resolution or, letting those people go, or agreeing to disagree, or anything that would be more helpful than doing it alone with ourselves in the middle of the night.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of parallels between some of the approaches at Sleep as a Skill of what you're saying. I love this concept of you have this chance during the day to address those things that are keeping you up in the night. That's so, so profound, and provides a place for people to stand of suddenly being put back in the driver's seat around their sleep and not just at the effect of this mind that won't turn off. So that's wonderful. So this is one of the foundational elements of how you can make a difference in your sleep, is start here. And then from that place, you build the momentum there. And then what would be part two, would you say?
I mean, I'm skipping around here. I wouldn't say I'm going in any order here, but
yes, totally.
I would say one of the things that has been profound for me and for many of my clients is the practice of dreaming, not dreaming at night, dreaming during the day about your life, and starting to plant in your mind what it is that you actually want, which then starts to crowd out what you don't want and what you fear or what you're concerned about and all of that. So as soon as people start to dream, or I call it like programming the GPS to where you want to go, you're way less distracted by everything else. So that's one of the things I prescribe is you gotta, and that's what we have our clients do first things first anyway, but I prescribe that if you're struggling to sleep at night, you're focused on the wrong stuff. You're not focused on what you really want.
Oh, this is so great. Yeah. And really beginning to reappropriate the time that you're spending in those nighttime hours and putting the tasks that are possible for you during the day, but also to your point, like what is possible for yourself in your life, really going to work on that during the daylight hours. That's huge, huge, huge. Okay. So now you're beginning to shift the locus of control around what there is to do around sleep and moving it during times that we can actually do something about it, make that phone call, make that list. And then from that place, what else do you see when you're working with people that are just, this is a habitual thing. They're exhausted, they're tired. What are some of those other go-to things that you suggest for people?
Well, physical integrity, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you review that. This is what I would consider to be rather elementary. So I'm sure people already understand physical integrity means going to bed early, turning off the blue light, getting enough exercise, getting sun, getting vitamin D, getting your spiritual practice in, whether it's meditation or something else. And also just whatever not eating late at night. I mean, again, I think these bits of advice are a dime a dozen, but if you're being a brat, and that's what we call it in the Handel Method, if you're being a brat about basic self-care, right? If you're not taking care of your sleep, why would your sleep take care of you? You get freebies when you're young, right? It's just like that when a drug dealer wants to get you hooked, right? Like you get a freebie until you think you're entitled. And then you have to grow up and actually design it and learn how to take care of yourself. You don't get the freebie anymore. You have to grow up. So growing up for us in this day and age means exercise, meditation, proper supplements, and whatever physical integrity is for us. And it's individual to each person. So if physical integrity is I spend a half an hour on the floor with my kids at night, or, I have sex with my husband twice a week, which for me is integrity. It's not a matter of preference. It's a matter of the integrity of the relationship. Plus it helps sleep.
Yes. I love that. Absolutely.
So if you're ignoring your physical integrity and what you know is right for you on all the levels, paying your bills, balancing your checkbook, aware of your finances, every area of life is implicated. And if you're out of integrity, you're going to be up thinking about it. And one of my favorite ways to fuck my integrity is to overload my days, to either overload the day before or the day after. And as soon as I do that, as soon as I plan 12 things in a day instead of 9, or don't prepare for what's coming the next day, guess what? My subconscious is going to find a way to make up for it. It's like how many times do I have to do that before I learn? That does not work. That is not physical integrity. That is a brat trying to get away with her addiction.
So good. So, we're intentionally looking to get this because you got so much gold in here, particularly as to how to create an empowering mindset and a set of behaviors that align with that to make a difference for people's sleep. And of course, as we spoke about before we started recording, this is really timely for what people happen to be dealing with right now as it relates to this concept of social distancing. Also, the multitude of a sense of uncertainty, unknowns around the future, so many new extra special things that people might be dealing with that they hadn't had a relationship to. Maybe they had a life where they believed they were integrous in a lot of areas, and suddenly it's just out. So how can we support people in those times? What do you see for that?
Well, everyone's out of integrity right now because everything's changed. So there's no way you could have designed Some people have pivoted and redesigned very quickly, but it would be very unlikely that you have really had even the chance to design things again to be in integrity. And not to mention, obviously, we're just out of whack as a human culture, obviously.
Yes.
We're being spanked. But
absolutely.
So in times of a particular stress, and I'm sure people listening, you know, obviously of the COVID-19 version, but you've had it before. Someone in your life is sick or dying, or you're going to an appointment that you're scared about, or you're going to be on TV, or, you know, like there's some heightened experience of fear, you know, that's permeating your consciousness. The thing that has been extremely helpful for me is this study of my inner dialogue. So we, as human beings, unique to all other animals, are able to actually observe our own thoughts. That is incredible. That's an incredible, incredible ability. We have, according to science, between 12 and 60,000 thoughts a day, of which 80% are negative and 95% are repetitive. Good news, it's repetitive. So there's not a million things you have to be tracking. Bad news, 80% of it's negative and you're barely ever original in your thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you're up in the middle of the night, what I dare you to do is have an original thought. Okay. Use the time to have an original thought. That's my dare. But we just generally don't have original thoughts. We generally have negative thoughts, and we don't know we're doing it. It's like as though we're swimming in a swimming pool full of poison, and we don't even know we're in a swimming pool full of poison. And especially right now, if you're listening to the news, you're eating off the toxic buffet, right? And you're like, I don't know why I feel nauseated, you know?
So many quotes. I love this. Absolutely. Right.
Off the toxic buffet.
Yeah. I'm trying to write these as quickly as I can. There's too many.
Good thing it's recorded, Molly.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So with that, then, so we're swimming in this, and we might be so immersed in it, to your point. We don't even know that this is something that we can actually step out of that toxicity, step out of that swimming pool. So what are some ways that people can begin to step out of that
you have
whole
to know
echo
you're
chamber?
in it. That's the first battle, is you actually have to catch it. And that's hard. So, I mean, I've had to reverse engineer it because my brilliant coach was like, if you didn't sleep last night, why don't you tell me what you said to yourself yesterday about sleep?
Yep.
Right. So I had to backtrack and go, oh, right. I said I probably won't sleep tonight because of blah, blah, blah. Or,
oh my God, this is such a powerful step, because in Sleep is a Skill, we have something called sleep bots that each morning, then people reflect back on what worked, what didn't work about the night before, and then set themselves up powerfully for the day ahead from the circadian rhythm perspective. And the patterns that can emerge from doing that one simple practice can be so profound. So I love that you do that regularly. That's wonderful.
And especially if you convince yourself, what you want to try to do is engineer your thinking and curate your thoughts and convince yourself you're going to sleep. You want to hypnotize yourself or brainwash yourself or whatever words you want to use, because all that has happened is you brainwash yourself into thinking you're not. You've thought the thoughts and you believed yourself because you're so credible. And you don't realize how really not credible you are, right? How you just skew the evidence to have a pity party versus skewing the evidence to prove that, of course, you can put yourself to sleep and keep yourself asleep. Further, I will say that in times of particular heightened, communal anxiety, it's important to distinguish your thoughts into categories. And I put my thoughts into the following categories. One, logistics. Like what do I need to cancel tomorrow so I stop being overwhelmed? Or who do I need to talk to tonight so that I can clear my mind? So logistical thoughts that are actionable. The second one is like existential thoughts. Like, I don't know if existential is really the right word, but thoughts that are emotional in nature. Like, I'm worried, what if my mom gets sick? Or, am I gonna be able to get food next week? So kind of like basic heart, gut, emotional kinds of thoughts, which are also actionable because they can lead you to make that phone call to that person that you love and connect, or have a good cry, or, check to see if you can get a delivery next week,
Yes.
So those emotional ones need to first be validated and felt and then acted upon. And then finally, there's the category that I like to call catastrophic.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
catastrophic is really useless thought. Like, what if we all die? Or, this plane could crash, or, every now and then I go, oh my God, what if my kid died? Right. Like these are thoughts that I actually nod to them, right? I allow myself a moment of the thoughts. Oh my God, I can't believe airplanes work. This could crash. Oh my God, my kid could die. Oh my God, this could be the end, right? So I will allow myself that thought because I actually think it's kind of poignant, that I should be so aware of the fragility of life. So I will allow myself that moment of recognition, but that is an illegal thought, according to me. As soon as I catch it, I unsubscribe, and I'm not allowed to entertain those thoughts. Those thoughts go on the illegal list. So
I like that.
I think that's useful for people right now, especially to just start to categorize your thoughts and build the skill of ignoring certain ones as absolutely useless, like as though they just aren't talking to you, right? Like if you're not listening to everyone's conversation on the subway because those are not conversations for you.
Right. I love that. So then for people that have begun to really live into what you had so well kind of distinguished as really engineering or tricking yourself into believing it happens to be true. So a label, say, of I'm a bad sleeper. I can't sleep right now. This is just not working. I guess I'm destined to not sleep, get the type of sleep I need. It's because I've gotten older. It's because of this news. It's, all of this kind of this disempowering list of things, to the point of, on the more extreme, I have sleep anxiety. Every single night I have to go to bed, my heart rate goes up. I have a sleep phobia on the extreme side of this perspective, and then believe that there's something more clinical that is really there. And now there's no hope for me in this realm. Is then this the time where you go right to that beginning place where you begin to be aware that there's holes in that theory? Is that where you'd begin for those people?
I don't know. I will not give a general prescription of where to start.
Yeah.
I will say in our methodology, where we start is dreaming, because we have to have a why in order to convince you to do all the other hard work.
Yes.
Deal with your lying and the people you're avoiding and the issues you aren't dealing with and the checkbook you're not balancing and the rent you haven't paid. Like, I would say if I'm going to give an order, I would start with dreaming, and then I would start with mind management. And then I would start with and then I would go to physical integrity. We've actually laid it all out in Inner You Life in the order we think is best, but it's not for sure, right? And I don't know if it's really necessary to prescribe a particular order. I've just laid out a whole bunch of things. I'm sure you've laid out a million great things. I think each individual has to go, this is what resonates with me, and this is my way in. And I do say, like, if you haven't tried 70 solutions, you haven't even started playing the game. So, like, if you're thinking, like, I tried 10 things and it didn't work, I'm like, well, sorry.
70, that's great. Sorry. I love
Sometimes it's a journey to figure out your recipe for saving yourself. And you can't be a brat about the fact that it takes something.
Well, I love what you're saying about this start with the why too, because, there are a large number of people that begin to really struggle with their sleep, particularly in the later portion of their life, in the later seasons of their life, when now their sleep has potentially gone down in the time duration that they're achieving. Now there's this sense that there's less for me now, depending on the person, but as this pervasive theme of now what? Now I've retired, now I've just turned 70, et cetera, et cetera. And so this why of creating something powerful to pull for seems to be take something new. So I love that you're having offering that.
It's unfortunate that often these shifts happen right when other crazy things, like menopause happens when your kids are leaving and you're like, what's my purpose again? And then when you retire, everything shifts again. And you're like, wait, what's my purpose? So it's very poignant that if we are not located in a purpose, which is what's so nourishing for our souls and our heads, it's much harder. And then if you go down the whole medical road and something's wrong with me, and that can be very the word is not enticing, but that can be very absorbing.
Yes. Great word. Sure.
You problematize yourself rather than you go, oh no, I'm having a spiritual transition. How about that? How about that? Instead, I'm having a spiritual transition. I'm not having menopause. I'm not having, Yeah,
I love it. Well, and this is particularly fitting, I think, right now as well, this point of starting with your why, because when we're in this time of uncertainty, we're in this time of unknown dates and times of when this will change. How will life look as we emerge out of what's happening right now, that many people have basically relayed this conversation of, well, I can't plan anything. I have no idea what's coming. So then they stay paralyzed in the now from this past-based way of thinking. So this is really wonderful to challenge that thought that you can't still create a powerful why in the face of uncertainty.
Oh yeah,
so
you have to more than ever. I mean,
yes.
And if
Thank you.
If you didn't see that, that beautiful movie, it came out, I don't know, many years ago, called Life is Beautiful. It was this beautiful movie about a man who ushers his child literally through the Holocaust and through a concentration camp experience. And he designs the whole thing. He creates an imagination game for his child such that his child is not really aware of the traumatic things that are going on. And it's I keep recalling it right now because people are horrified and scared and feel like sheep to the slaughter at the moment. But it was such a good reminder of our unique human ability to manage our minds. And in any situation, in the most dire of situations, human beings have been known to plan, design, find purpose, be generous, be happy even.
Mm-hmm.
So if we know we can do this, so it's time to do it.
Oh, such a great suggestion. And as it relates to that, a lot of this stress is not only for our health and our safety and safety of others that are important to us in these relationships, but then for many people, with now that we've tipped the scales and really set records as far as the number of unemployment, filings that have been happening and the future for people around their finances and their business. I know Handel Group really does a lot with helping people to make a difference in their business. How can business coaching relate with our ability to sleep at night?
It's like anything else, right? You've got your purpose, you've got your dream, your mission, and then you've got your thoughts and your actions. And if your thoughts and actions don't line up with that ideal, you're not going to feel good and you're not going to sleep as well. And if they do, they do. So we help people with whatever it is, whether it's business or love or health or body or whatever. We help you articulate what it is you really want and tell the truth about that. Then get your thinking aligned, which might require some argument. Stop thinking this, stop thinking about how much you don't have, start thinking about where you're going to get more. And then your actions. Good. Okay, what's the action? Like, how convenient if you want a pity party puddle instead of figuring out what's your pivot. It's puddle versus pivot. Pity party versus pivot. Okay.
So many peas in a pandemic. I love that.
In a pandemic. So many peas in a pandemic. Yeah. So human beings we are the best and the worst, right? We are light, we are dark, and any excuse to go dark, we will take it. But it doesn't mean we can't pivot, design, look for the good, look for the blessing. There will be people benefiting from this. There will be people coming out stronger in their relationships. There will be people coming out stronger as daters. There will be people coming out with better immune systems. There will be people coming out closer to their families. There will be people coming out with great new ideas with their book written. I'm looking up at the roof across the way from where I'm sitting right now, and there's a woman who is having the most insanely awesome workout on her roof right now. I'm like, that woman is
seizing the day.
She is she's out in the sun. She's doing a kick-ass workout. She's inspiring everyone who can see her from here. And she didn't decide to go sit on her couch and eat a burger.
I love it. So being a leader in the face of all this,
it's an option. We need them. It's an option.
We need them more than ever. Wow. Well, I certainly have, of course, this whole page filled with notes from what you just shared. So there's so much there. Do we leave anything out? Anything else you wanted to share real quick? Or
those were my main points.
Okay.
And more.
Beautiful.
Thank you for eliciting them in such a organized and efficient fashion.
Oh my goodness. Well, it was a pleasure. And I think that this is so, so important for what people are dealing with. So I want to be able to share with people because, I'm sure you've piqued the interest of a lot of people around, okay, so I hear you. My mindset is not, there's a lot of work to be done here to further examine my thoughts, to distinguish them, to categorize them, all of this actionable, takeaways. So how can they learn more about what you guys are up to, what you offer?
Oh, thank you for asking.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, Molly. Okay.
Totally.
So
yes.
Inner You Life is our online coaching course. That is the most fabulous, comprehensive, and inexpensive way to get yourself doing this work. If you're ready, like if you're someone who's sick of your own excuses, if you're sick of trying hard and being exhausted and you're ready to just do the work, like really look at yourself, own up to stuff, do the work. That's what we designed this for. This person who can't afford thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for private coaching, which is awesome.
Right.
We designed Inner You Life for the regular person who's ready to do the work. And it's basically all of our methodology in 12 audio coaching sessions with Lauren, who invented it. And it covers everything: career, money, health, body, your relationship with yourself, time, family, all the areas. And you get the coaching with Lauren, plus you get all the assignments we give our private coaching clients. This is all on a web-based portal. Plus you get a private coaching call to customize it all to you. Plus you get boot camp classes, which means every few months we offer you a 6-week class where you can participate with a group and a coach and actually get feedback on your homework and be supported through the modules. Plus Q&A calls for the rest of your life where you can call into a coach on a regular basis, and plus. It's like everything we could throw in but the kitchen sink to enable the regular person to be able to do the work, to figure out what do you really want, what's in the way, what are the actions that would make the difference, how do you get yourself to stick to the actions that you know you should be doing, how do you tell the truth, how do you have these difficult conversations, all of it. And it's $650, which is crazy because it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of material. Mm-hmm. But right at this exact moment during the pandemic, if you happen to be hearing this late March, early April, it's on half price. So it's only $325 right now. And your code is SLEEP is a skill 75. And SLEEP is a skill 75 will currently get you half off. But as soon as the pandemic sale ends, it will still get you a discount. So you can always go check what discount you're going to get. If we're doing a universal sale, it'll give you whatever the sale price is. If it's just the regular life, it'll give you the beautiful discount that Molly got you because she did this podcast. So either way, it's just a great deal. And that's how I really recommend people participate. I'm leading one of the next classes in May. So again, if you're listening to this at a time where, you're ready to go, I'll look forward to hearing and seeing you. The classes are webinar. Right. We see each other. We literally look at each other. It's like a real class. Perfect for a pandemic.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's the main. Yeah, that's the main thing.
So wonderful too. And you also work with, you do have optionalities, as you mentioned, too, if people do want to do one-on-ones or working within their businesses, as many people are trying to restructure how their businesses are going to look in this kind of new world, there's offerings as well there.
We do it all. You should go to inneryou.coach, which is INNER, the letter U.coach, to find out about the digital stuff, handelgroup.com to find out about all of the corporate work we do, executive coaching, private coaching, weekend retreats someday again, hopefully. So we do and we even do a free call. I do a free call in the morning right now at 9 a.m. Oh,
yes. I saw that. That looks awesome. A great offering for right now. And then are there also ways that they can sign up for emails and what have you too to stay connected? Okay, great.
Yeah, exactly. Either of those websites will give you options to be on our newsletter list. Laurie Gerber _coach is my personal Instagram. And that's where you can see links to my TEDx talk. You can see links to the free call at 9 a.m. And just great. I post little updates from those calls each morning because people miss them sometimes. So I give a little 1-minute recap. So those are some other options.
Ah, so wonderful. Well, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. And to your point, to make it accessible, no matter where people are at in their life, there's options to be able to have a, partner in this journey. The caliber of some of the teaching here is, it's not just kind of fly by the night. It's being taught at universities, different, very large corporations, and really been time tested in a way.
Right.
Impressive.
We felt strongly about that. We developed everything at MIT and Stanford because we really wanted to make sure it was nerd proofed.
I love that. Really, well, for my biohacking kind of crew that listen in, I think they'll absolutely appreciate that you've done that work. So that makes a difference. Wow. Well, so much here. I really appreciate you taking the time, and we'll be getting this out very shortly and include all that information in the show notes as well.
Wonderful, Molly. Thank you so much. Thanks for what you're doing. You're helping really a lot of people with a very real pain point.
Yeah. So real. And well, thank you for saying that and for taking the time to share what you've, on the court have learned, and the real actionable kind of checklist and things that we can all do to make a difference and, begin to test this immediately. So thank you. And we'll be in touch in the future for sure.
Wonderful.
You've been listening to the Sleep is a Skill podcast, the #1 podcast for people who want to take their sleep skills to the next level. Every Monday, I send out something that I call Molly's Monday Obsessions, containing everything that I'm obsessing over in the world of sleep. Head on over to sleepisaskill.com to sign up.